Hello and welcome to Interlinked, a podcast by the Center of New Economic Studies at OP Jindal Global University. A little bit about Interlinked is that we're a podcast that tries to approach key issues through various perspectives, and we try to do this by indulging into conversations that revolve around the topics of society, economy, and polity. And for today's episode, we'll be looking at certain societal changes that happen due to clashes between the wildlife and the society. Due to a very fast developing world, what has happened is that forests are being cut down because people need more space, which leaves the wildlife vulnerable to different kinds of human habitats and causes clashes between the people and the wildlife. So, if can such clashes be prevented, and what is the solution to all of this? And to answer these questions with us, we have a very special guest with us called Mr. Gururaj Singh Kushwaha. Mr. Giriraj Singh Kushwaha not only has a love for wildlife, but he's also a member for the State Board for Wildlife for Rajasthan. He's also a member for a committee for Sariska Tiger Reserve in Rajasthan, formed by the National Tiger Conservation Authority of Government of India. He was also the collector of Savai Madhopur at the time where one of the few happy relocations happened when the people of Mordungri were relocated, and he had a huge part in facilitating and administrating that. So we are really happy to have you with us, sir. Your contribution has gone a long way for both people and the wildlife, and we're very happy to have this conversation with you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Nadita. Thank you, Nadita, for having me here.
I think my first question I would just start with if you could provide us a background on Mordungri and its relocation, and what were the issues that made the relocation necessary?
Uh, Let me talk about the background regarding the relocation of Mordungri. Mordungri was one of the 8 villages which we got relocated from Ranthambore National Park in 2000, from in 2011 to 2013. I was there for 2 years. Uh, we first relocated one village known as Padra. That was a village which was half relocated about 7 8 years back, but the remaining people were not going out there. We took it up in June 2011, and from then the work of relocation was started. I first visited this place in June 2011 and came to know about the plight of the people, how they were living in the middle of the national park. They were cut off from the civilization. Most of the, you will be surprised to know that none of the ladies have traveled in train. Out of almost maybe 30 40 ladies were there, and most of the times they uh, have not been to Savai Madhopur city also, which is only 10 or 15 kilometers from there. If somebody falls ill, they have to take it on a charpai on, uh, and it was very difficult life there. Their agriculture was also destroyed by the wild animals, and they were living in a very primitive condition. Then I tried to I talk to them and try to make them understand that if they relocate from this place, then they will be part of the civilization, and they should think about their future generations. They have very lovely children, very healthy one, because they were living in a very pristine environment. And I took my wife also along there for several times. I had to be there with my team several times, and my wife talked to the ladies and convinced them that the men, they go by motorcycle to the village, to the nearby villages and to the city also, but the ladies basically remain there, and they were cut off from the society. Then my wife talked to them that they should convince their husbands and their men and uh, relocate from this place, so their children will have a better future. Then the relocation started from Padra village, and we relocated it in. It took a lot of time, and we relocated this village to a new place in Tonk district in December 2011. And then we the process of relocation started, and then several villages were relocated. As regards More Dungri was the toughest place to relocate. The relocation process for More Dungri was started about 20 or maybe 30 years back, but we could not get any success there. The problem was that Dungri was hardly 1 or 1.5 kilometers from the road. People were living there happily. They were not isolated as other villages were isolated from the civilization and the society. And they were having even solar power supply also. So they were having light in their village, and there was a school also. So they were leading a normal life. But uh, their location was very crucial for the national park. They were in such a place where most of the tigers were roaming around, and they were interfering with the wildlife. So we decided that the more Dungri should be relocated. I went there and again tried to talk to them, and it took almost 1 year to convince them to relocate. The problem was that uh, there were two uh, types of packages for relocation. One was money, 10 lakh rupees were provided to any family who want to relocate, and another was providing land. All the people from Mordungri were asking for the land, and it was very difficult to find out the land. But I could find out land in Tonk district, and then I convinced them that they will be provided land. They will be provided land for agriculture. They will be provided 5,400 square feet of land for constructing their house, and we will provide them money for the construction of houses also, as we had provided the same thing to the people from the Padra. But as you know that it is very difficult to convince villagers. But I was persisting, and it took me almost more than 1 year. And then they got ready, and they had the faith in the administration, and then they got relocated to a new place in Tonk district. Basically, it
So,
was the confidence in the system that
mm.
that prompted them to agree for the relocation.
So you mentioned that Modungri was one of the hardest, it was the hardest relocation, and the relocation process had been going on for a really long period of time. So what was that? What was the impact of this such a stretched out process on the people?
Sorry, I,
What was the impact for of the relocation period was stretched out over 30 years, you said. So what was the impact of the same on the people?
Uh, the impact was that there, at least I think that their two generations uh, were lost. Basically, they could not get proper education. They could not be assimilated with the society. Most of the time, they were living in the forest, and their life was limited to only uh, only that area. Also, they were having uh, some animals, and their yield of for the agriculture was also not there. So they were culturally, financially, and socially, they were very backward. There,
Mm,
I think their two generations were lost there.
mm. And so, like after it was stretched out for over 30 years, how was the administration able to hatch a plan that finally worked?
As I told you, it was the effort by the team, and
Mm,
just persisting and going there, sitting with them, talking to them, creating confidence among them, and then convincing that how it will be beneficial for them to get relocated. It will be a win-win situation, because the forest department and wildlife will have hundreds of square kilometer inviolate area, and they will have a very good life outside of the national park. They will be part of the society. They will be part of the civilization. Then they will have proper education, health care, and uh, their new generations will have the opportunity uh, to do some business. They will have the opportunity to join this government service also after education. So they got convinced because of all
mm.
these things.
And once the relocation happened, how were they able to settle into their new livelihoods? What were the difficulties they faced? They were also required to switch from being shepherds to agriculturists. So, how did they take on to that change?
Yes, it was not very easy because they were living in a very isolated manner. Uh, they were living just like the tribals of the uh, 18th or 19th century. But when they came out of the park, they it took almost 2 years to get them settled because the land was also not ready for the agriculture. We helped them in leveling it, and we also provided them two wells for the agriculture. But in next 1 year, their yield was 10 times more than what they were getting from their fields in the national
Mm,
park. Their animals were also started giving more milk there because they could feed them properly. And the other thing was that because they were almost 10 kilometers from the city, they started coming to the city and getting some work there also in the city. So in almost 1.5 year, their income was also doubled or tripled there. So they were very
mm,
happy, but it took some time to get adjusted. I also got them one school there. Then we also built one temple and a community hall. So they were very happy.
mm. And you said that before the relocation, the ladies were confined, they wouldn't step out of the village. So after the relocation, were the ladies also able to go out into the city?
Yes, yes. The ladies were also able to work not in the city, but they got some work in agricultural fields of the nearby villages. They were also started earning.
Mm. And so I also mentioned that the relocation of the people of Mordungri was a happy one. So what were the few steps that you took to ensure that it was a happy relocation, and how is this relocation different from other sort of relocations?
Yes, it was different from the earlier relocations in one manner that I gave them my telephone number and told them that till I am alive, they can always talk to me. So whenever they had any problem, they used to talk to me, and I used to help them out. And my team was also very good, and they always helped them out. Not only the people who were relocated from Mordungri to certain place in Tok district, but we relocated almost 2,000 people and
Mm,
8 villages. Most of these people spread all over the Sayamadapur district, Tonk, and nearby other districts like Bundi and Kota also. Wherever they had any problem, like getting in the electricity connection, getting admission of their children, getting the BPL card, getting the ration card, or any sort of problem, they used to call me and I used to
mm.
help them. It also created a confidence among all these people, and that made very easy this hard task of relocation.
I one more question is that as the collector of Savai Madhopur, did you face a lot of these problems? Were they common?
Yes, you know that the collector's role in India is
Mm,
360 degree. We get almost all types of uh, problems to be solved. Uh, m- Still, the people, especially the villagers, consider the collector uh, a person as he can solve any problem. Most of the
mhm,
times, they come to the collector's office with their very tricky problems. I'm sure it is very difficult to solve their all problems, but whatever the problems uh, s- uh, are very, uh, I will not say very easy, but which can be solved at the district level. We used to help them, and most of the times the problems were related to the disputes regarding land. And there were also such problems like the medical health and the education. The teachers were not there. They were not teaching properly. Doctors were not available. So we used to help them out in all these things.
This is my second last question to you, is that you are known for your love for wildlife and your commitment to the well-being of people. So in situations such as this, where the wildlife and the people are coming into conflict, how are you able to make a neutral decision? How do you go about that?
Uh, Let me tell you one incident when I was the collector of Jaisalmer. Jaisalmer and Barmer district have one of the biggest national park in the country, that is Deodas National Park. There are so many villages in within the national park, and the politicians and the people from these villages were pressing the government to reduce the area of the national park. And then I was chairing a meeting in which a member of parliament and the MLAs and the pradhans, etc., the political representatives were also there. Then they try to press the idea that since this national park does not have any big animals, only some reptiles and birds and insects and a very less number of some trees. So there is no point in having this national park. But I try to tell them that that it is not advisable to reduce this national park. But when they press too much, then I told them that I am not only the collector of the humans, but I am the collector of these reptiles, these insects, and these trees also. Then I did not agree for the reduction of the national park, and that's how the national park was saved. Same way, whenever there was a question of the problem of wildlife and human conflict, I used to tell the people that it is not the wildlife which has encroached on our areas. It is the problem of the humans who have encroached upon the area of the wildlife. We have rather entered into their area, so we have to have empathy with the wildlife and act accordingly. So I was, to be very honest, I was biased towards the wildlife, and I always took the side of the wildlife whenever there was a human and wildlife conflict.
My last question for you is that is relating to the fact that the people of Modungri, once they were relocated, they decided to name their new village Girirajpura. So, did you what at a personal level, what kind of emotions did that evoke? How did you feel about that?
Just take, I came to know about this when I was transferred from Sawai
Hmm.
Madhopur. I felt really as a collector of Sawai Madhopur when they named the village in on my name, Girirajpura. I felt very good. But basically, it was a tribute to the whole administration and the team, and it shows their confidence in the system, in the government also. Because when we relocated almost 2,000 families, there was not even a single complaint about any type of coercion, corruption, and anything, and not even a single politician interfered in those 2 years. That shows that how empathetically the administration and my whole team worked with these people, and uh, they felt very good. That's why they named the village Girirajpura.
Hmm. If you don't have, do you have any other anecdotes or stories that you would want to share about the people of Modungri while in your time over there?
Uh, Once the people from Modungri and Padra came to me with
Hmm.
their priest, they call that Bhopa, and they told me that uh, they cannot live in the pakka houses, the constructed
Hmm.
homes. They want to have only the kacha houses and the jhopdis, because their Bhopa or their local god tells them that if they live in in the pakka houses, then they will not get any, they will not progress rather. Uh,
Hmm.
but I was very tough with them. Then I told them if they will not build the houses out of that money which is given to them, then I will not let them live there. and then I had to to be very tough with them. And then I posted one officer there to look after that they built the houses, and that's how they got very good houses, and now they're living happily. Otherwise, had I yielded to their request, they would have been living in the kacha houses and jhopdis.
I think that was the last question of the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Kofra.
Thank
I
you,
think
Nandita.
it was so gratifying to hear about everything that you've done, the way you've recognized both the needs of the animals and the people, and you've been able to ensure that a happy ending is reached for both where neither is neglected is just astounding to hear. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Nandita. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.